Good morning and welcome to Daily Scriptures. We're going to begin this morning at 1 Chronicles chapter 11. Then all Israel gathered to David at Hebron and said, Behold, we are your bone and your flesh. In times past, even when Saul was king, you were the one who led out and brought in Israel. And the Lord your God said to you, You shall shepherd my people Israel, and you shall be prince over my people Israel. So all the leaders of Israel came to the king at Hebron. And David made a covenant with them in Hebron before the Lord, and they anointed David king over Israel, according to the word of the Lord through Samuel. Then David and all Israel went to Jerusalem, that is Jebus, and the Jebusites, the inhabitants of the land, were there. The inhabitants of Jebus said to David, You shall not enter here. Nevertheless, David captured the stronghold of Zion, that is the city of David. Now David had said, Whoever strikes down a Jebusite first shall be chief and commander. And Joab, the son of Zeruiah, went up first, so he became chief. Then David dwelt in the stronghold. Therefore it was called the city of David. He built the city all around, from the Millo even to the surrounding area. And Joab repaired the rest of the city. David became greater and greater, for the Lord of hosts was with him. Now these are the heads of the mighty men whom David had, who gave him strong support in his kingdom, together with all Israel, to make him king, according to the word of the Lord concerning Israel. These constitute the list of the mighty men whom David had: Jeshboam the son of Hichmite, the chief of the 30. He lifted his spear against the 300 whom he killed at one time. After him, Eleazar the son of Dodo, the Holoite, who was one of his three mighty men. He was with David at Pasdammim when the Philistines were gathered together there to battle. And there was a plot of ground full of barley, and the people fled before the Philistines. Then they took their stand in the midst of the plot and defended it, and struck down the Philistines. And the Lord saved them by a great victory. Now 3 of the 30 chief men went down to the rock of David, into the cave of Adullam, while the army of the Philistines were camping in the valley of Rephaim. David was then in the stronghold, while the garrison of the Philistines was in Bethlehem. David had a craving and said, Oh, that someone would give me water to drink from the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate. So the 3 broke through the camp of the Philistines, drew water from the well of Bethlehem, which was by the gate, took it, and brought it to David. Nevertheless, David would not drink it, but poured it out to the Lord. And he said, Be it far from me before my God that I should do this. Shall I drink the blood of these men who went at risk of their lives? At the risk of their lives, and they brought it. Therefore he would not drink it. These things are the 3 mighty men did. As for Abishai, the brother of Joab, who was the chief of the 30, he swung his spear against 300 and killed them. And he had a name as well as the 30. One of the 3, in the second rank, he was the most honored and became their commander. However, he did not attain to the first 3. Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kebuzal, mighty indeed, struck down the two sons of Ariel Moab. He also went down and killed a lion inside of a pit on a snowy day. He killed an Egyptian, a man of great stature, 5 cubits tall. Now the Egyptian's hand was a spear like a weaver's beam, but he went down to him with a club and snatched the spear from the Egyptian's hand and killed him with his own spear. These things Benaiah the son of Jehoiada did, and had a name as well as the 3 mighty men. Behold, he was honored among the 30, but he did not attain to the 3. And David appointed him over his guard. Now the mighty men of these armies were Ashul the brother of Joab, Elkan the son of Dodo of Bethlehem, Shammah the Horathite, Helez the Bethite, Ira the son of Ishla the Tekite, Abazir the Anatholite, Sebekah the Hishbonite, Now these are the ones who came to David at Ziklag, while he was still restricted because of Saul the son of Kish. And they were among the mighty men who helped him in war. They were equipped with bows, using both the right hand and the left to sling stones and to shoot arrows from the bow. They were Saul's kinsmen from Benjamin. The chief of Azir was Joash, the son of Shema the Gibeth, and Jazel, and Pilat, the son of Asmith, and Jehu the Anathite, and Ishmael the Gibeonite, a mighty man among the 30 and over the 30. Then Jeremiah, Jehazel, Johan, Zobath, Gerite, Ezul, Jermoth, Behil, Shimei, Elkan, Isha, Azor, Jozer, Jashbim, the Korites. From the Gadites there came over to David in the stronghold, in the wilderness, mighty men of valor, men trained for war, who would handle shield and spear, and whose faces were like the faces of lions, and they were swift as the gazelles on the mountains. Ezra was the first, Obadiah the second, Elah the third, Mishmannah the fourth, Jeremiah the fifth, Attai the sixth, Eli the seventh, Johan the eighth, Elizabad the ninth, Jeremiah the 10th, Macbanatha, and I the 11th. These are the sons of Gad, were captains of the army. He who was least was equal to the 100, and to the greatest 1,000. These are the ones who crossed the Jordan in the first month when it was overflowing. Excuse me. And it was overflowing with all of its banks, and they put to flight all those in the valleys, both to the east and to the west. These are the ones who crossed the Jordan in the first month, overflowing its banks. Then some of the sons of Benjamin and Judah came to the stronghold to David. David went out to meet them and said to them, "If you come peacefully to me to help me, my heart shall be united with you. But if to betray me to my adversaries, since there is no wrong in my hands, may the God of our fathers look on it and decide." Then the Spirit came upon Asmai, who was the chief of the 30, and said, "We are yours, O David, and with you, O son of Jesse, peace Peace to you, and peace to him who helps you. Indeed, your God helps you." Then David received them and made them captains of the band. From Manasseh, also some defected to David when he was about to go to battle with the Philistines against Saul. But they did not help them, for the lords of the Philistines, after consultation, sent him away, saying, "At the cost of our heads he may defect to his master Saul." As he went to Ziklag, there defected to him from Manasseh Adon, Jobab, Jedidiah, Michael, Jozabad, Elihu, and Zehuth, captains of the thousands who belonged to Manasseh. They helped David against a band of raiders, for they were all mighty men of valor and were captains of the army. For day by day men came to David to help him, until there was a great army, like the army of God. Now these are the numbers of the divisions equipped for war who came to David at Hebron to turn the kingdom to Saul to turn the kingdom of Saul to him, according to the word of the Lord. The sons of Judah who bore shield and spear were 6,800 equipped for war. Of the sons of Simeon, mighty men of valor for war, 7,100. Of the sons of Levi, 4,600. Now Jehoiada, the leader of the house of Aaron, and with him were 3,700. Also Zodak, a young man mighty of valor, of his father's house, 22 captains. Of the sons of Benjamin, Saul's kinsmen, 3,000. For until now the greatest part of them had kept their alliance to the house of Saul. Of the sons of Ephraim, 20,800 mighty men of valor, famous men in their fathers' households. Of the half-tribe of Manasseh, 18,000, who were designated by name to come and make David king. Of the sons of Issachar, the men who understood the times, with knowledge of what Israel should do, their chiefs were 200, and all their all their kinsmen were at their command. Of Zebulun, there were 50,000 who went out in the army, who would draw up in battle formation with all kinds of weapons of war, and help David with his undivided heart. Of Naphtali, there were 1,000 captains, and with them 37,000 with shield and spear. Of the Danites, who would draw up in battle formation, there were 28,600. Of Asher there were 40,000, who went out to the army to draw up in battle formation. From the other side of Jordan, of the Reubenites and the Gadites, and of the half-tribe of Manasseh, there were 120,000, with all kinds of weapons of war for battle. All these being men of war, who could draw up in battle formation, came to Hebron with a perfect heart to make David king over Israel, and all the rest also of Israel were of one mind to make David king. They were there with David 3 days, singing, eating and drinking, for their kinsmen had prepared for them. Moreover, those who were near to them, even as far as Issachar and Zebulun and Naphtali, brought food on donkeys and camels and mules and on oxen, great quantities of flour cakes, fig cakes, and bunches of raisins, wine, oil, oxen, and sheep. There was joy indeed in Israel. Psalm 77, 16 and 20. The waters saw you, O God. The waters saw you. They were afraid. The depths also trembled. The clouds poured out water. The skies sent out a sound. Your arrows also flashed about. Your voice of your thunder was in the whirlwind. The lightnings lit up the world. The earth trembled and shook. Your way was in the sea, your path in the great waters, and your footsteps were not known. You led your people like a flock by the band of Moses and Aaron. Proverbs 19:17-19. He who has pity on the poor lends to the Lord, and he will pay back what he has given. Chasten your son while there is hope. Do not set your heart on his destruction. Of a man of great wrath will suffer punishment, and if you rescue him, you will not have to do it again. Acts 7:1-21. Then the high priest said, Are these things so? And he said, Brethren and fathers, listen. The God of glory appeared to our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia, before he dwelt in Haran, and said to him, Get out of your country and from your relatives and come to the land that I will show you. Then he came out of the land of the Chaldeans and dwelt in Haran. And from there, when his father was dead, he moved him to the land in which you now dwell. And God gave him no inheritance in it, not even enough to set his foot on. But even when Abraham had no child, he promised to give it to him for a possession and to his descendants after him. But God spoke in this way, that his descendants would dwell in a foreign land, and that it would bring them into bond, and that would bring him into bondage and oppress them 400 years. And the nation to whom they will be in bondage, I will judge, said God. And after that, they came out and served me in this place. That he gave him the covenant of circumcision. And so Abraham begat Isaac and circumcised him on the 8th day. And Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat the 12 patriarchs. And the patriarchs, becoming envious, sold Joseph into Egypt. But God was with him and delivered him out of all of his troubles, and gave him favor and wisdom in the presence of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and made him governor over Egypt and all his house. Now a famine, a great trouble, came over all the land of Egypt and Canaan, and our fathers found no sustenance. And when Jacob heard that there was grain in Egypt, he sent out our fathers first. And the second time Joseph was made known to his brothers, and Joseph's family became known to the Pharaoh. Then Joseph sent and called his father, Jacob, and all his relatives to him, 75 people. So Jacob went down to Egypt, and he died, he and our fathers. And they were carried back to Shechem and laid on the tomb that Abraham bought for a sum of money from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem. But when the time of the promise drew near, which God had sworn to Abraham, the people grew and multiplied in Egypt until another king arose who did not know Joseph. This man dealt treacherously with our people and the oppressors of our forefathers, making them expose their babies so that they might not live. At this time Moses was brought up in his father's house for 3 months. But when they was set out, Pharaoh's daughter took him away and brought him up as his own. Thank you, folks, and we'll see you tomorrow.